What's going on, you guys? It's your boy JT. I am finally a third-year medical student, and I will be starting rotations in January of 2024 in the Bay Area. And today I'm going to share with you guys 4 things I wish I would have known going into my Step 1 dedicated period as a St. George University student coming out of their basic science. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share with you guys 4 helpful things I wish I would have known going into my dedicated period. Number 1, know your time frame. Knowing your time frame is very important in order to have a stress-free transition from your basic sciences all the way to you start clinical rotation. For me, I have noticed that students typically fall between 3 different time frames. What are these 3 different time frames? Well, these 3 different time frames are based on people's overall GPA for 2 years of the basic sciences. For example, time frame number 1 is going to be for those who have an overall GPA between 73.5 to 80%. These people tend to take anywhere between 3 months to 6 months in order to feel fully prepared to take the USMLE Step 1. Time frame number 2 is usually people that have an overall GPA between an 81% through a 90%. These people tend to take anywhere from 2 months to 3 months to feel fully prepared for their USMLE Step 1. And finally, time frame number 3 are for people that have an overall GPA of 91% or greater going into their USMLE Step 1 dedicated. These people take the traditional 4 weeks to 8 weeks in order to feel fully prepared to take the USMLE Step 1. Of course, there's going to be people that have an overall GPA that might be a little bit lower, and they end up taking only a month, 2 months to feel fully prepared to take the USMLE. These people are the exceptions. They are not typically the rule. So again, what I'm going to give you today is just a couple of guidelines. They're not 100% concrete. That was number 1. Number 2, pick your resources wisely. What I've noticed is people tend to overload themselves with resources going into their Step 1 dedicated period. Don't do that. For me, I always say to students, if it worked for you in your basic sciences, do not try to suddenly switch up going into your Step 1 dedicated. Okay, you don't want to do that. For example, I made the mistake of doing 200 Anki cards in my Step 1 dedicated per day, and I've never done Anki cards, at least not efficiently and consistently in my basic sciences. So why did I try to all of a sudden switch up my study routine? What I always tell students is to stick to what worked for you in the basic sciences, and it will work for you going into your Step 1 dedicated. This brings me to a resource that I highly recommend to any student who has an overall GPA of greater than 90 or less than 80. Anyone is able to use this resource, which is Hi Guru Pass Fail course on higuru.com. Hi Guru is ran by a physician who is a pediatrician. He is also a fellow in critical care pediatrics. His name is Dr. Rahul Damania. He is a super solid teacher. His slides are simple to understand. He integrates so much, and he also has practice questions in his slides. So that's super important for me. If it wasn't for Hi Guru, I do not think I would have been able to pass the USMLE Step 1. His pass-fail course has everything you need to know in order to pass the USMLE Step 1. He also has a lot of free resources on YouTube that you guys should definitely check out. All right, number 3 is to have an accountability partner. Specifically, have an accountability partner that is within your same level or range of level as far as your overall GPA goes. The last thing you want is to have an accountability partner that's like way out of your league, and next thing you know, that person is just passing their Step 1, moving to a different state, and starting clinicals, and you are absolutely nowhere near to being able to feel ready to pass. So that's why I highly recommend to find someone who is a study partner, a study buddy, an accountability buddy, who is within your same overall GPA range. This will create accountability as well as giving you that right push in that right direction in order to succeed. For example, tell your study buddy, hey, this week I'm going to take NBME 25 and I'm going to get a 65% or greater on this. And you guys both take it at the same time. You guys compare your guys' scores and see how you guys can do better, what you guys liked about that certain practice test, what you didn't like, And things like these would have definitely helped me out tremendously if I would have had a study buddy going into the Step 1 dedicated period. And finally, number 4 is what is the score I should be aiming for on my NBMEs in order to feel good to take the USMLE Step 1. As you guys know, as of January 26, 2022, the USMLE Step 1 switched to pass-fail. The only time you will ever get a numerical score on your USMLE Step 1 is if you fail. So you don't want to fail, you definitely just want to see and open up that laptop and see pass. Because of this switch, the NBMEs have also switched up how they grade their practice exams. Before, they used to give you a numerical predictive score of what you will get on your real USMLE Step 1. Now, they give you something called a total equated percentage correct. This basically means how difficult a practice test is compared to other people. I am going to put my NBME up right now. As you can see, your total equated percent correct score is on the top, and on the lower right, you'll see the probability of passing. It is this number that you want to take at face value. In other words, for my example, if I were to take the USMLE 100 times, I would pass it 93% of the time, and I would fail it 7% of the time. That is what I mean when I say to take your score at face value. Personally, I would aim for an EPC score of 65% or greater twice, and then after that, take your free NBME 120 online and get a 65% at least on that before sitting for the real deal. Now, am I saying that if you get these scores, you're going to pass no matter what? No, these are only guidelines. These values that I'm giving you are only guidelines to help you have a certain goal, a certain criteria of what you should be aiming for before you sit for the real deal. All right, you guys, that's all I have for this video. If I would have known these 4 things going into the real deal, I would have had so little stress during my dedicated period. I took 5 months in order to feel prepared to sit for the real deal, and thank goodness I passed, and I was so excited to pass. As you guys know, for us Caribbean students, for any international medical students, it is very critical that you pass your USMLE Step 1 the first time, not the second time, not the third time. You have to pass it the first time in order for us to even have a chance of applying for a residency in the United States. And I really hope that I encourage you guys during this video. If you like anything about this video, comment it down below. If there's anything that you guys want to know more, comment that down below. And if there's anything that I left out that you guys thought was helpful in your Step 1 dedicated period, please put that down below in the comment section as well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I am so thankful to be back and making more content for you guys. I wish I had more time during my dedicated period, but you guys will truly see once you get into your dedicated period that you will have absolutely 0 time for much social media as well as content creation. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Till next time, much love, peace out.